Alright, welcome back to Cobalt Black. Let me break down exactly why this roguelike take on Carmageddon works in some ways, but fumbles what made the original franchise special. And who might actually enjoy this despite the mixed Steam reviews. The setup sounds great on paper. You're racing through 2050 zombie wasteland in randomly generated roguelite runs, smashing through hordes of mutated humans called Wasted while battling armed rival racers. Each run has you choosing paths on a branching map, hitting shops to upgrade your rust bucket with weapons, and fighting bosses. You've got 15 vehicles to unlock, 13 weapon types from shotguns to railguns, and 80 plus perks that can create some genuinely broken synergies when they line up right. What works here is the perk system. When you stack various buffs with the right vehicle, the right weapon, and the right type of perks for your playstyle, you get those roguelike moments where your build just clicks. Boss battles against massive war rigs are legitimately challenging, forcing you to actually master driving mechanics instead of just holding forward. The vehicle variety deserves credit too. Front-wheel drive cars handle completely different from rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options, each with unique weight distribution and suspension. You're not just picking cosmetic differences. Choosing between nimble front-wheel drive machine versus a heavy all-wheel drive battering ram fundamentally changes your approach to combat. The damage model is impressive. Windshields shattering, doors ripping off, bumpers crumpling, and all of that every time you take damage or collide with an enemy. But here's where it falls apart. The roguelike structure strips away the sandbox chaos that defined Carmageddon. The original games let you cause mayhem however you wanted. This funnels you down to predetermined race paths with objectives. Runs feel samey after a few hours because the map generation is limited, so you're seeing the same arena sections just repeatedly rearranged. The permanent progression through the black market between runs is shallow compared to other roguelites. You're unlocking minor stat bumps, cosmetics, and different cars, not game-changing mechanics. Vehicle handling feels weightless, lacking satisfying crunch of metal-on-metal impact the series is known for. When you slam into a rival at full speed, it should feel devastating. Instead, it's more like bumper cars with guns. The weapon system has balance issues that became obvious after multiple runs. Railguns dominate every other option once you unlock them because they pierce through multiple enemies and have no real drawback. Shotguns feel weak unless you're point blank, which puts you in danger from explosive wasted. The flamethrower sounds cool, but the damage over time is too slow when you're being swarmed by enemy racers. You end up gravitating towards the same 2 or 3 weapon loadouts every run because alternatives just don't compete. Enemy variety is another weak point. Regular wasted are just fodder for you to plow through. Special wasted that explode or shoot projectiles show up, but there's only a handful of types. So by your 5th or 6th run, you've seen everything they do. Rival racers have different AI patterns, some aggressive, some defensive, and some focused on shooting, but they blur together into generic opposition. The enforcers that are supposed to be this threatening police force feels like slightly tanky regular enemies, and sometimes they don't even feel like that. Only the boss encounters at the end of each area bring real challenge, and those are just damage sponges with predictable attack patterns once you learn them. So they still are challenging. You need to know the mechanics to handle them, but after you've figured them out, they don't have replayability. The biggest problem here is value. $40 and $35 on sale gets you maybe 10 to 15 hours before you've seen everything the roguelike loop has to offer. Compare that to Vampire Survivors at $5 or even Hades at $25, but with hundreds of hours of content, and Rogue Shift comes up short. The 438 Steam reviews sitting at mixed aren't wrong. This appeals to a narrow audience of Carmageddon fans willing to accept a watered-down version of the franchise, mixed with people who love vehicular combat enough to overlook the repetition. You should buy this if you specifically want vehicular combat in a roguelite, you're a franchise diehard who needs every Carmageddon release, and even then you might still be disappointed, or you're picking it up on sale at $15 or less. For everyone else, skip it. This mixed reception tells you everything. Half the players are finding something they like, half are disappointed. Without a meaningful sale discount, there are better roguelites and better destruction racing games you could spend $30 on. My final verdict? Wait for a sale if you really want this game. At $15, this becomes a tentative recommendation for roguelite fans who are curious about vehicular combat, but at $30, it's overpriced for what you're getting. The perk system has potential, and the boss fights deliver challenge, but shallow progression and repetitive runs drag it down. Anyway guys, if you made it this far in the video, a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to grow the channel right now, and every little bit helps. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. As always, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Peace out.